All right, everybody. How are we doing on this Friday? We made it to the end of the work week, and as we are live on Facebook, we are live on YouTube, and we're going to be talking about the storms on tap through the rest of your Friday and take a sneak peek into the weekend as well. So overall storm tracker radar, we're going to break down the current storms that are popping up right now and what we can expect through the rest of the day today. Today is a Fox 35 storm team impact day. So we are going to be keeping an eye on the possibility of a couple of stronger storms, especially later on in the evening. Probably at about 4, 5, 6 o'clock is going to be our window for that. So that's what we're looking at the moment. So let's break down the current radar. Here's what we're looking at currently. And so right here you can see our radar continuing to see those storms pop up. Right now as we close in areas across Daytona Beach, by Oak Hill, Deltona, down by Sanford and Lake Mary. These areas, especially across Volusia, Seminole County, are right now seeing some showers. Little bit of thunder starting to happen and lightning making their way over the I-95 corridor over Oak Hill. We're going to be seeing a lot more of that, especially affecting the East Coast beaches as we head through the rest of the evening. So heads up with that. Checking out a couple more storms that we're seeing continuing to pop up. Right by Mims and Playa Linda Beach, we're seeing some showers. Right by Titusville as well, and over the Kennedy Space Center. Continuing to make our way down towards Brevard, because especially as we head into more the southern Brevard area, this is where we could see more of those storms later on in the afternoon. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But overall, just seeing a couple of scattered showers kind of just sitting over the inlets of Brevard County. Port St. John may be seeing a shower or two. Same with Cape Canaveral as well. But as we head through the rest of the evening, all of these storms are going to kind of follow one another. So right now, we're seeing this upper level low, and what's really that is that we have this low pressure system high up in the atmosphere that's kind of sitting over us right now. It was sitting over areas across the Atlantic a little while ago, but now it's kind of sitting right over Florida. So all of these storms are going to start to pick up across areas of the peninsula, over the Gulf, swing into Tampa, move right over Central Florida and the Orlando area, make their way off the coast, and kind of just be in this cycle as we head through the rest of the afternoon. And this is what's also going to be sticking through the weekend as well. So this is something that we're going to continue to watch as we head through the next couple of hours, because today's going to hold a storm threat. Tomorrow also holds a widespread storm threat, mainly with just the rain. We'll check the severe chances in a second, but this is ultimately the pattern that we're going to be seeing, because again, yesterday we saw those storms making their way off the west coast, so now they're making their way off the east coast. So this is a significant pattern change, especially because the east coast beaches haven't seen a lot of rain in quite a while. So we're in just the early stages. Things are starting to heat up. We saw some sunshine that's going to add some storm energy into the atmosphere. We also, of course, have been seeing the humidity really starting to kick in. That's another ingredient that we're going to be watching through the rest of the evening. But that's ultimately what we can look forward to through the rest of our Friday. So as we do take a look again, things are relatively quiet on the radar right now, keeping an eye on a couple of spotty storms. So let's take a look at the threats of what we can expect through the rest of the afternoon. Again, today, Fox 35 impact day, so make sure you are staying weather aware, making sure you have that Fox local app downloaded and ready to go. Main threats today are going to be lightning, gusty winds, and hail. So of course, as we take a look at those threats once again, we saw those winds very gusty yesterday, saw a little bit of hail associated with some stronger storms. Those were mainly down by Tampa, but vivid lightning, especially because we have a little bit of a dry layer in the atmosphere. And when we see severe weather start to pick up, and once that interacts with that dry layer, it kind of adds to that increase of that balance difference of what we can see when lightning happens. So you have positive and negative charges. Once that interacts with that very dry air, it further just makes that change different. So we can see a lot more lightning, especially in the pattern that we're in right now. So these are your main threats over the next couple of hours. And I'm taking a look at our cameras right now. I'm not seeing anything that's kicking. Oh, Epic Theater Cam. Hold on. Let me pull this in very quickly. if I can find it quick enough. But yeah, you can see already those storms off in the distance making their way off of Titusville. And probably with that storm that we were looking at just a couple minutes ago, you can probably see it as well. Yeah, you can see a couple of those storms off in the distance right there. I'm trying to see if there was any others that are showing some rain. I think that's the only one. I'm getting a rough view of the port cam, but I think this is where we're seeing again a couple of rain shafts off in the distance in Titusville. So we can see a lot of rain, again some heavy downpours on tap through the rest of the evening. So just make sure again you know the forecast and keep up to date with the Fox 35 storm team through the rest of the evening. So let's pull it all together. Let's time it all out of what we can expect through the rest of the evening. What we can expect through at least the next couple of hours, things becoming very scattered, and then things really start to pick up. So we have that west coast sea breeze that's really going to be dominant today. And as we head through the storms continuing to watch, we're going to continue to keep an eye on these storms as they continue to pick up. So that west coast sea breeze firing things up along the I-75 corridor, those are going to be moving westward. So as we head into about 3:30, 4 o'clock, areas across Orlando, Cocoa Beach, Melbourne, probably going to be seeing some heavy downpours and probably a lot of lightning as well. Titusville down to Cocoa Beach and over the I-75 corridor, especially when we're talking about the evening commute. And of course, lots of people trying to get an early jump on the weekend, possibly making plans to go to the beach. Biggest piece of advice I can give is if you hear any thunder, make sure you get inside as quick as possible, especially if you do have any beach plans. We're going to be seeing, again, very active storms and widespread storms through this weekend as well. So we can see the possibility of a lot of lightning, especially as we head into the 6-7 o'clock hour. And then things slowly starting to fizzle out by probably about 8 o'clock. Maybe a couple storms lingering over the Gainesville area, but things should be pretty much quiet by midnight. But really the main window that we're going to be watching is probably from about 5 to 8, even probably 4 to 8, with the most intense storms and becoming the most widespread. So Orlando down to Melbourne, especially Osceola County, Orange County, Brevard County, we're going to be watching those areas especially for the possibility of some severe weather a little bit later on today. So that's the timing. That's what we're going to be focusing in on and very much keeping an eye on through the rest of the day. Storm threat through the day today. This is the way that those storms are going to be traveling today. We can see those storms going to be really intensifying over the central part of the peninsula, making their way off the east coast. And we do have that level 1 out of 5 for that threat today. Let me just bring up a map so you can see what I'm looking at as well. So these are going to be the storm motions today. They're going to be moving from west to east today. And then as we do take a look at the storm threats and the severe chances, areas across the west coast, we're really going to be seeing those storms starting to pop up, probably parallel to the I-75 corridor, if not the Florida Turnpike, where we see those storms start to pick up. So areas across Sumter, Lake County, parts of Polk County, you're going to start to see more of those storms starting to pick up a little bit earlier, probably at about 3 o'clock. Areas across Orlando, probably about 5-6 o'clock, you'll want to be on the lookout. And areas across Brevard County, 6 to 8 o'clock is going to be your window. But region-wide, we are seeing that level 1 out of 5 chance for severe weather today, seeing the possibility of some strong pockets of storms, if not a couple of severe storm warnings being put out today. So the best thing you can do is just make sure you have that Fox local app downloaded to make sure you're staying up to date with the latest weather information for sure. And of course, if we see anything on our end, we will absolutely come on here for the Fox 35 with Facebook, as well as the Fox 35 Orlando Facebook. So make sure you have us on notifications. So if we do have to hop on and your area is under a severe thunderstorm warning, you can absolutely see what we're looking at, so you can be up to date with what's happening with that storm as well. So that's ultimately what's happening through the rest of the afternoon. See a couple people watching right now. Freddie is watching, Carolyn is watching, a couple of other folks. Again, we are live on YouTube as well, so if you aren't able to catch us up on Facebook, you can also catch us on YouTube for the rest of the evening. But ultimately, it's summer. Make sure you are having fun. Make sure you get outside and enjoy the beautiful weather that we have. But as we do start to get into that summer season, make sure you are definitely making sure you are staying weather aware for sure. And again, if you do hear any thunder, we see a lot of lightning here in Florida. We're the lightning capital of the U.S. Just make sure if you do hear any thunder, make sure you get inside as quick as possible. And Casey Kennedy watching from Italy, hey there. Hope you're enjoying your vacation. And John watching from Melbourne. Be careful in Melbourne as we head into the next couple of hours. Going to be seeing the possibility of, again, some storms out there. And again, if you were just joining us real quick, we'll go through the timing once again. So areas across Gainesville, Ocala, probably things going to pick up about 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Kissimmee, Orlando, up to Deltona, going to be seeing anywhere between 4, 5, and 6 p.m. That's going to be your window there. In areas across Deltona, Daytona, Titusville, down to Cocoa and Melbourne, 6 to 8 o'clock is going to be your window to watch out for some weather as well. Maybe up in Gainesville, things might try to fire up a little bit later on, but I'm not too sure and too convinced about that quite yet. We'll kind of see how the afternoon plays out in those storms. But hi from Ocala, Dinesh right there, and Valerie from Leesburg. Judy from Davenport. I do have a favor for everyone that's watching all across the region. If you do see any storm reports or have any storm reports, whether it's hail, really gusty winds, very heavy downpours, definitely let us know. You can either direct message myself. You can look up my weather page, Laurel, Meteorologist Laurel Blanchard. Either direct message me, or if we do come up on one of those streams, definitely let us know what you saw as these storms continue to fire up today. And we would definitely love to hear it, because that's what we use in order to figure out where the worst of the worst is. But right now, we can see a couple people writing in that they're seeing some showers out there right now. Seeing a little bit of a cluster of lightning by Oak Hill, as well as Edgewater as well. But this is just the beginning. We're going to be seeing a lot more storms as we head through the rest of the afternoon. So again, make sure you're sticking with the Fox 35 storm team. We're watching the radar so you don't have to, and we will absolutely let you know if you need to worry about anything. But make sure you just have those notifications on so you can stay up to date with the latest weather information. Have a great night, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Friday, but again, stay weather aware and have a great weekend.